Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the FIMU Alpha League Championship Series. We've got an exciting matchup for you tonight. We've got the Three Pump Chumps versus Cass's Shoe Shop. I am Austin Sayado Weber, and I am here with one other caster at the moment. Say hello there.
Hello, this is Alex Packer Diehard 12 Hagenboo, and yes, I have lost weight. Thanks for asking.
All right. We should be joined in a minute by Dylan General Dill Hortensi, but he's getting off work and switching his over to the client, so he should be here in a minute. But anyway, what are we expecting from this matchup here?
Well, first thing, pretty obvious that there are a lot of just pure comfort champions banned away. The Jays, the Echo, things like that we know they're signature champions. We've seen Lugo play Echo a couple times and just wreck with it, so obviously Cass Shoe Shop didn't want to face with that. So a couple people pushed off of their main picks probably, but pretty solid drafts I think coming out from both squads. So I'm just looking for a good competitive series.
Oh yeah, we see other two big bands of note. We have Light Pulse's Jace banned away from him. That's definitely something that you don't want to really be messing with in the game. That's a scary pick for him. And over on the side of the Three Pump Chumps, we see Draven, of course, banned away from Family Man. That's another one of those picks. You just got to ban it away. And then Lulu banned from Hoagie, and then Vagar banned away from DG Mad Hatter in the mid. Right.
Yep. One thing I liked a lot out of the Cass Shoe Shop, going with the first pick, Sejuani. I think that we have seen Sejuani several times, and we've seen how powerful she can be. I mean, we already know in the meta, tank junglers are kind of the top, and Sejuani is definitely one of those top priorities, and Cass Shoe Shop wasting no time in picking that for Clumsy Chocobo, looking to have a big team-type impact. But they matched it on the other side with the Maokai, who is another one that's in the top, so kind of standard tank jungle picks at the early stages of the pick ban phase. Explosive team fight power coming from both sides.
Lots of good stun for both teams, and we already see our top lane matchup. We have Darius versus Gnar, and those are, once again, two champions that can do wonders in a team fight. And even in their lane, where it's going to be seen who manages to pull ahead, because if either one of those gets a good lead, it's going to be hard to stop either of those top laners.
I feel like lane-wise, Light Pulse is definitely going to have an advantage because Darius is pretty easily kiteable, and Gnar, with his range, with the slow on his Q and the hyper move speed bonus from his cracking his 3 stacks, it'll be really easy for him to kite him out, and the percent health damage from his W as well will pretty much give any trade in his favor unless he just messes it up. So
that's also
lane-wise, I'm definitely looking for Gnar to bowl ahead, but we know what Darius can do in a team fight if he survives long enough. So
yeah, and that's also not to mention that Arios 31 is a substitute this game. So the Three Pump Chumps should have the communication advantage on getting some ganks in pretty easily.
The other thing, too, that I thought was interesting, we've seen, for the most part, right now we're seeing the melee tanky supports in the meta. Now we are seeing, like, Janna come back pretty big. But the fact that, they just switched up on me. I thought that was going to be Morgana support. Either way, Malzahar support is another thing that hasn't been at the top of the meta for supports, and neither has Zyra. We know they can both dish a lot of damage, but it's just interesting to see neither team opting for one of the tank supports, which is what we've been mostly seeing.
And down there, we also have two pretty. They did switch.
Switch back again. Okay.
So we do see two very high damage AD carries down there. We have the Twitch versus Tristana. Now, that Twitch Morgana lane, I feel, is going to have a much stronger early game presence over the Zyra Tristana, but late game, CSS is going to have a bot lane to be reckoned with as long as they are not completely behind by the time they get there.
Yeah, I think both carries are not the strongest early game, especially when you have like Tristana with her extremely short range. She really needs levels to get her passive up. But even if, say, Morgana is able to land a binding and the two of them dish some damage out, Zyra's early damage, as far as supports, I think beats pretty much anybody. So if Twitch and Morgana are just sitting there trying to get damage out, Zyra can return it pretty easily with her plants as well. So they're going to be, if Morgana lands a binding, look for some pretty exciting trades down there. A lot of kill potential on both sides if Zyra lands a root or if Morgana lands a binding. So
going into the expectations of the late game team fight, we have each team has at least one champion who really will excel with the big grouped up fights that both teams are going to be looking for with the Gnar and the Sejuani ults. We got Twitch down there on the 3-pump chumps, and if he can get his ult going in the middle of a team fight on the edge of the fight, he's going to do a lot of damage. And the same goes for that Vel'Koz that DG Mad Hatter picked. If he can sit along the outside of a big clumped up fight, he's going to get a ton of magic damage in, and true damage if he gets his organic deconstruction stacked. So I think both teams are looking for the same types of fight here.
yeah, the amount of lockdown on both teams is pretty good. The 3-pump chumps lockdown with Gnar, Maokai, Morgana binding, Morgana ult, and a Malzahar ult is they have so much in CC. All they need is one Gnar ult or Maokai ult coming across, and if they get enough of the priority targets in that, they'll just fall immediately to the Twitch and the Malzahar. Similar from the other side, although it's not as much. You have the Sejuani ult, which is kind of more of a one-person target, even though it does slow in the area. But the Zyra ult, if you put that down on top of the slow from the Sejuani, can lock everybody up.
Yeah,
and
I'm
just a couple of seconds of that lockup, yeah, exactly, with the Vel'Koz ulting over the top of that. So really it's just going to come down to which team can execute their initiations better. And if one team gets a good initiation off, it's going to be really hard for the other team to win.
Yeah, I believe, I think 3-pump chumps definitely have a lot better single target pick CC, but I think if they manage to get their big group ultimates off, Cass's Shoe Shop definitely has the large team fight CC that they're going to need. So it's going to come down to whether or not the 3-pump chumps can eliminate the targets they're looking for before Cass's Shoe Shop gets their wombos off.
Yeah, something that after looking back through the comps again, I don't know if this is a champion that Hoagie plays as much, but after seeing the Gnar and the Maokai come out, I would have probably liked him to pick Janna, because it's really, really easy for him to just knock everybody out if Gnar tries to jump in and get an ult, or if Maokai tries to use this twisted advance in. And being able to cancel their initiation like that and then have the Sejuani ult to look for a re-engage or counter initiation after that, I think might have been better than just having the Zyra, because if Zyra gets caught by any CC, she just goes down immediately because of how squishy she is. So, but again, I don't know if that's really a champion that Hoagie plays that much.
Yeah, and we are definitely seeing Cass's Shoe Shop on a bunch of their comfort picks, if you can tell by any of those masteries we saw. Each one of them they have 3 level 7s and 2 level 6s. Now, that's not going to say exactly how the game will go, but they definitely have been playing these champions before, and these aren't pocket picks. They're just pulling out for the heck of it.
But wait, who bothers to ban Draven?
And there he is.
Draven has a 0% win rate in the PMA LCS this season. Why would you ban him?
Because they're not playing Azir in the bot lane.
Interesting.
All right, are you going to do the play-by-play, Dylan?
I can do play-by-play.
All right, so we are bad at it.
Okay. Fight breaks out, I'll start yelling over top of everyone as loud as possible.
And we'll start yelling back. Alright, we're already seeing this early invade attempts, but it looks like both teams are just going to get away without really blowing anything.
Yeah, a little bit of damage on to the Sue shot, but they were able to get in and get a ward down. Really interesting, Light Pulse, when he saw all 5 of them bot, could have easily walked in and gotten the ward down in their blue jungle on the other side, but he just stuck to his own side, so missed opportunity, I feel like, for him to get some more knowledge of what they're doing early.
I don't know if it's as much a missed opportunity or if their team just decided they were not going to fight it no matter what. Alright, it looks like a blue start for both both junglers right now.
Yeah. See, Darius is coming back in the top just before the minions died, and he gets them all with a Q, so good he doesn't miss any of the minions from that long reach for the Sejuani.
In lane less time than Gnar already has a 2 CS advantage. He's going places.
Wait, what timestamp are you guys at?
2:21.
Yeah.
Okay, I was 2 seconds ahead.
Oh.
Because Gnar is definitely losing in CS as far as I can tell. This Draven able to just push him back and get the early level 2.
You're thinking of the brother who said Draven.
Yes, Darius.
Yes, Darius.
that D asshole.
Yeah. We're at 255 now. Is that where you're at?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
We're synced.
It looks like we see Sejuani going in for an invade on Maokai's red buff. Hyper Isis spots that out and goes immediately in on him. And now they're just both attacking the red buff. I think Sejuani pulls ahead, gets the red buff, and is going to look... Oh, the Maokai passive coming through as Sejuani flashes away. And if that sapling had connected... Wow, the sap magic pulling through, getting 2 big heals off in that fight, able to come ahead as he smited red buff also for the extra health, but Sejuani did take that red buff away, giving a fair bit of advantage over to his jungle as he looks like he's heading top lane, but he's incredibly low. As Arios going in, Light Pulse gets pulled in, he tries to hop away, he gets knocked up by Clumsy Chocobo, and it flashes away from it. Staying safe.
All in all, a semi-successful invade/gank.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that Light Pulse was expecting that, considering how low the Sejuani was. Didn't think that she would come up for that. So that was pretty good instinct, I think, to pull that off, because I definitely wasn't expecting Sejuani to do that to me after seeing she was using.
I believe Clumsy Chocobo there was relying on Sejuani's passive if it was up. It's so unexpected for her to randomly just get so much damage reduction out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I still think Light Pulse could have turned that and taken down Sejuani for some free double buffs in that top lane.
You're welcome.
But that's hindsight's 2020, am I right?
Yeah,
that's right.
I think so as well. But the question would be if the Darius was gonna take advantage of Gnar sticking around, because even with Dangerous Game, it'd be hard to recover enough health to stop a fully stacked Darius Bloodlust.
Yeah. Plus, Sejuani would have gotten her passive off for the stun, which could have prolonged her life, and then Darius they probably could have killed him while he was stunned if he would have stayed there and been attacking.
In other words, what was that?
Gnar not running that dangerous game, choosing to go 12 points into the Resolve tree instead for that Summoner spell cooldown reduction.
Oh. But in other words, we're just complaining that there wasn't a 4-man death up top.
Correct.
That's what we
Pretty
really
much,
want to
pretty
see in the PMA LCS. Speaking of which, we haven't had our pause yet, so we know there's got to be a pause coming up at some point in the future.
Hold on, I'll tell Piper to pause.
You have a
the game.
return
He'll
gank
do it.
top lane. They know Gnar has no flash.
Yeah, Eros really low though for this Darius. He misses the apprehend, and Gnar just kiting back to tower.
Who needs flash to escape anyway?
Oh, hello.
Oof. Bot lane may seem like it's going pretty evenly, but Twitch is using so much mana where CSS's bot lane is pretty much full right now.
Yeah, Twitch isn't super mana reliant though. He doesn't really need it. Other than unless he just wants to like keep spamming out his W like this.
In the early game,
he doesn't really need it.
I feel Contaminate is really important to securing a kill in the early game. Later on,
Yeah,
once
but I
he's
don't
got
think they
more
really
items.
need. Yeah, I just mean in general for lane, like he doesn't need to be casting his abilities as much as like Lucian or some other champs that need it to last hit or anything. But interesting, he went to Doran's shields for some extra defenses early. When you're going up against Desire, though, you know you can take a lot of harass. So. Good adaptation.
Watch it.
Ari's getting some hits on that Gnar.
Yeah, if he can get close enough to Gnar and time his apprehend with Gnar's leap, so that he pulls him back out of it, then he could definitely lay the hurt on. So it's just going to be a matter of if the Gnar can try to leap away before that happens.
It looks like CSS really wanting that Gnar because Sejuani popped up behind behind 3 Pump Chumps' tower to try and find that Gnar escaping. But instead, they're going to go gank mid.
Going on
It all
Score,
comes
DG
down
Mad
to-
Hatter lands the knockup and drops down the life form disintegration ray. But now Piper is flashing it over, taking a kill back on a clumsy Chocobo, using the Nature's Grasp to lock down DG Mad Hatter so that he can walk away. Dodges out on the Plasma Fission, but cannot dodge the Tectonic Disruption as now bot lane has rotated up, but the Black Shield still giving him some crowd control. Reduction, Family Man flashes in for the kill with the bomb on, now dropping onto Simplex as we see 2 flashes forward from DG Mad Hatter. Super Hoagie going in, he lands the Tectonic Disruption, finishes off DG Mad Hatter, but now Lugo popping the spray and pray in that quarter, hitting all 3 of them with each auto. Yeah, dropping the Venom casks just to try and escape to land the slow. Contaminate was down, or he could have picked up that kill from Super Hoagie as he takes the Blast Cone away. 2 kills for 1 in total, or 3 kills for 1 in favor of Cass's Shoe Shop.
Can we appreciate that expertly timed dodge by Piper is going over the Zyra stun by rooting to her.
Unfortunately, still died for his fancy moves. Maybe he needs to get his shoes upgraded from Cass's Shoe Shop. Give him a little bit extra fancy feet.
They might need to buy that second boot. And we see CSS already with a first Cloud Drake. Not the most powerful Drake for their team fights later on, but it will help them to rotate to them.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna be looking if we can have another explosive fight bot anytime soon, because pretty much everybody in the bot lane has used their sun rays.
Oh, we see the Sejuani. Glacial Prison come out onto Skjoransson as the Life Form Disintegration Ray comes across Barrier and Flash burned, and he gets away with the help of the Black Shield. But now the Maokai Nature's Grasp coming across. Can it make its way? It's so slow. Able to cast a Shoe Shop, able to disengage from that. But now,
damage.
Zyra throws down the ultimate as now Piper goes in on DG Mad Hatter, who's suppressed by Skjorensen, and he goes down. Piper is traded back for the kill. Now Skjorensen trying to duke it out with Super Hoagie, not able to survive the simplex. Black Chain's not, Soul Shackle's not able to come down in time as Super Hoagie picks up the kill back
in the bot lane too.
on Skjorensen. Now duel down in the bot lane. This is Lugo trying to get away, unable to do so. Family Man popping the Buster Shot with a follow-up auto attack, able to take down the Twitch. Tristana showing her earlier power over top of that Twitch in the early game.
Watch it.
So in the end, it is a 3v3 if you count that solo kill in the bot lane, but the 3-for-2 in the mid lane will in favor of 3-pump chumps there. Big props to Skjorensen on the turnaround. Thought he was going to die, but then he just turns around and ults the Vel'Koz, and they turn all the damage around on him, as well as getting his E off on the, I don't know if the boss died. Would have been Sejuani again.
We do see Tristana now with pretty much even CS and a 2-kill lead, 2-kill 1-assist lead over the Twitch. That's something that'll definitely be snowballing into the late game.
I mean, you can't underestimate Twitch's range, auto attack range, when he pops that spray and pray, being able to shred through an entire team. So Twitch still has his chance to catch up and be relevant in those team fights.
Oh, definitely.
But the Tristana with the early Infinity Edge will definitely help them out, as now Simplex caught out in the jungle by Clumsy Chocobo and Super Hoagie, rooted down by Super Hoagie, and finished off by Clumsy Chocobo. But now Lugo is here, but he gets Glacial Prisoned as Nature's Grasp comes across. This is a 2v4 in the jungle as Lugo goes down. Now, Family Man on a killing spree. Skjorensen trades back on the DG Mad Hatter with the Nether Grasp, and Zyra also goes down, but now he's stuck in that 2v1. And unfortunately, the Voidlings despawn. Triple kill for Family Man's Tristana, as Clumsy Chocobo heads out. A little bit of a worrisome fight. Very close, but coming out on top, Cass's Shoe Shop, as they got the early pick to make that a 4v3 in the jungle.
You know, we're supposed to wait for late game for Tristana to be popping off, but since she's already popping off in only 12 minutes, it's just going to be even scarier. She's going to get to her spike a lot faster now.
5-0 at 12 minutes. That is a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. Now, Twitch can still come back from this, but I think it's going to rely less on trying to get those even matched fights and more of just popping in to take on the entire team when they are clustered up and focusing elsewhere. So right there, he kind of popped off when there really weren't that many other targets to go for, and made himself just a huge target for CSS to go after and get an easy kill, knocking out a lot of their damage in the fight.
Yeah, dude, it did look like there was a little bit of miscoordination as well from the 3-pump chumps. Twitch came out of his invisibility and immediately started unloading on Hoagie, but then Piper used his Twisted Advance to jump on the Sejuani instead. If he would have targeted the squishy Zyra, they might have been able to kill her first instead, so maybe a little bit of miscoordination on who their target selection was there.
Top lane still just trading away.
Yeah, look, the CS advantage heavily going in favor of Irios on that Darius right now. The Gnar unable to really just keep up with the pressure that Darius can apply by stepping forward, having that apprehend in case Gnar does try to hop away. And I love how that ability is literally just called hop.
Yep.
Because he hops. Oh, but now Irios apprehending Light Pulse in. He does land the heal from the cube, but now, he flashes in, tries to get the ultimate, does not get the execute, but taken down by the bleed damage. Sejuani around the corner just in case. Lugo popping the spray and pray down bot just to force Family Man and Super Hoagie off of that tower as it falls really, really low. And now we see Piper is trying to rotate down.
I had a request to see the individual gold, so I'm going to pull it up over right now. We see Tristana with a 1,600 gold lead over Twitch right now. That is massive at this point in the game. Other than that, in top we see Darius with a 1k gold lead, and the other lanes, CSS is leading by a decent amount, but it's pretty close to even.
Yeah, we do see the overall gold is about 3,000 lead here, but pretty much all of that is Tristana and Darius.
About 2,000 on Tristana and 1,000 on Darius.
Yep.
Wait, guys. Did Julio just solo Rift Herald? I think Clumsy Choco just soloed Rift Herald on that Sejuani there.
I believe so.
Absolutely, he did.
I only thought Elucida could do that.
So stealthy, the casters didn't even notice.
But now Irios chasing down Light Pulse, who runs around the wall instead of to his turret. Another Decimate lands, but now Piper is here, flashing over the wall, going straight in on Irios with the root. Now Mega Gnar. Mega Gnar pops the Gnar, and Irios locked against the wall, locked down from everything. And we see a Glacial Prison down bot lane coming out against Simplex, but he simply throws down the Black Shield and walks away as Casta Shoe Shop starts up that Earth Drake.
Yeah, fortunately for Darius, he used his flash to style dunk the Gnar, but he doesn't have it there minutes later to jump to the wall. So he's lost him there. And
Spray popped as we see the fight in the river, but he goes immediately down. Oh my.
Manages to pop the second tick of the ult right before he dies, taking DG Mad Hatter with him.
Skjoransson just absolutely annihilated by that Lifeform Disintegration Ray. Might want to build up a little bit of health or magic resist on that Malzahar, because he is just getting popped by DG Mad Hatter.
Oh yeah, going for a Morello's first item instead of something like a Rod of Ages or a Catalyst item. Definitely going to do more damage, but Malzahar kind of needs the health to last in the extended trades that he's good at.
Yeah, we see Casta Shoe Shop pops the Rift Herald to secure mid lane.
Now, Clumsy Chocobo, his dash over the wall canceled by Piper his twisted advance, and now Clumsy Chocobo out on the wrong side does freeze him down. The binding perfectly timed to land on the Darius as he completes his teleport. And now it's 5v5 in this mid lane as Vel'Koz is right on his way right there. But they did take down mid turret with that Rift Herald push. And so now it's a second turret for Casta Shoe Shop over top of 3 Pump Chumps.
And that gold lead looks like it has doubled since the last time we looked at it. It was 3k a while ago, and now it's up to a 6k lead.
Skjoransson knocked up by the Vel'Koz, and the Lifeform Disintegration Ray final tick takes him down. That thing does some ridiculous damage.
We may be seeing Family Man. There's
well.
the pause.
Oh.
There's our pause. Woo!
See the Tristana not moving, and he's gone.
And now, looking over these builds right now, one of the issues here, Skjoransson on that Malzahar in the mid lane has 0 boots. There's no way for him to dodge the tectonic disruptions from that Vel'Koz. He's going to get knocked up almost every time. He really needs that move speed so that he can get away from the Vel'Koz's abilities.
Right.
Still,
And
almost 20 minutes into the game, has no move speed items.
not to mention, they're going up a team that has a Cloud Drake. You need movement speed to even come close to matching their rotations.
I mean, enough about the rotations. Sitting at 5 deaths, he needs to just outmaneuver skill shots at this point.
You need some form of tankiness and some form of, what's the word? Movability. Mobility, that's the word.
Right, mobility. And
And
we
when-
get back into the game.
And you know, when Dylan Ortenzi tells you you need movement speed, you probably need a bit less than what he's saying, but you still need it.
Oh, yeah, Hoagie caught out by the Twisted Advance. Piper is doing some crazy damage, just plowing forward with that Black Shield. But the damage from the Organic Deconstruction is massive, popping him under half health. And Super Hoagie barely surviving that with red buff ticking away on him. Getting out, but now this is Lugo. Flashes in, takes his free kill. Thank you very much. I'm Twitch and I'm behind. I needed that one.
But was the flash really necessary there?
Yeah, I feel like he could have just walked up and done that.
Honestly, a W probably would have done it.
Well, in the heat of the moment, you gotta panic.
Yeah. Going up against this team here with the lead that they have, not having his flash is pretty bad, especially as we get into the mid game and they're getting moved up fights.
Stampede.
Looks like both teams are just scouting out, trying to find something to do. Both objectives are down, but Baron is coming up in 5 seconds.
I mean, Kaz's Shoe Shop sitting at 35k gold. I still don't think they have enough to do a 20-minute Baron. So, but you never know. Morgana, Dark Binding's that minion they got in the way. Piper is now caught out, uses a twist advantage to dodge Zyra's root again, but now Simplex getting jumped on by Family Man, gets taken down. Family Man goes under turret against Lugo, forced to flash away, flashes into the Nature's Grasp. Oh my gosh. A huge mistake from Family Man, gives a free shutdown to This Is Lugo, who is now, though, in a 3v4 situation under this bot lane turret.
We did see Twitch pick up that kill because of that stun, but he also popped his ult solely to do damage to this Tristana instead of trying to position himself to get damage on the entire team where Twitch's ult really excels.
Kaz shoot up Super Ho, he's still taking that tower. He goes down and Light Pulse gets the kill for that. Trying to zone them off.
Oh, the huge!
Oh, the suppression cancels the organic deconstruction rate. Now Light Pulse trying to get in too low, gets taken down by a minion. Simplex still chasing in on DG Mad Hatter, misses the Dark Binding, able to get the Soul Shackles down, but they are broken out of as Piper is flying in with the Righteous Glory, able to jump right in on DG Mad Hatter and take him down, picking up 3 kills for 3 Pump Chumps, as now Irios still over there, misses that Decimate, doesn't get the heal, but lands the 5th bleed stack on Piper his Family Man. And Irios rooted up from that Nature's Grasp, able to walk away from it.
But misses that apprehend on the Maokai.
Well, in the end, they get what they came for. They did get the turret. It did cost them 4 lives, was it? But considering the kills they traded back for it, it does, with the turret, it does mean a little bit more of an advantage for the Shoe Shop.
They probably could have gotten out of there without that much kills being taken for the other team, but just maybe a bit of overconfidence and cockiness because of how ahead they are.
Yeah, the thing that saved him was definitely the Malzahar ult onto the Vel'Koz. If that didn't come through and interrupt his ult, he would have shredded all of them before they could have turned around for kills. More props to him. Although he does have 6 deaths, he has also made some good plays as well.
And on that, though, there's a Lugia, a 5-minute walk from my apartment, so see you guys later.
Alright, see ya.
Shoe Shop picks up his Drake, but they get the engage from the Maokai.
Lugo fighting Clumsy Chocobo down on that bot side. He had popped the spray and pray, but now Clumsy Chocobo getting taken low. 5 stacks of Venom on Family Man and Super Hoagie around the corner. Clumsy Chocobo gets rooted as he takes the blast cone away, but still safe. Picking up 1 kill apiece on each side, but the Cloud Drake going over to cast a Shoe Shop. That's the second, while DG Mad Hatter is managing to split push in that top lane. Light Pulse teleporting in top, trying to zone him away as Nature's Grasp comes down on the Tristana to force him out away from this turret. 3 Pump Chumps looking to take their first tower in this bot lane. Can cast a Shoe Shop defend? Clumsy Chocobo back to full health, riding over on that boar as Family Man dishing out the damage while Piper just walks away, and the 3 Pump Chumps unable to take that tower despite the pressure.
Yeah, big value out of the Warmogs there. Sejuani was down to like maybe 200 health after that fight, but just 10 seconds later is able to just run back into full health, and they can't stay and get the turn.
Yeah, we did see their 3 Pump Chumps getting a fight that was more like the ones that they should be looking for, trying to get some easy group picks off while one of their Cast Shoe Shop's primary damage dealers is away. But they managed to get a little bit out of it, but just not quite enough to turn it completely back around.
Yeah, and I don't think that's something that they should try to rely on too much. I don't think that Vel'Koz is going to be splitting that offense. It should probably be grouping the team. But definitely looking to do that if Darius is splitting.
Oh, we have a fight now in the jungle. Sejuani's Glacial Prison comes across, locking down Skjoransson, is now deep in the backline. Piper is a 5-man Vel'Koz all coming across. Piper is drop low.
Oh my
God. Double executes with that triple executes. We are at the triple kill. He's locked down the third. Ooh, the third Noxian Guillotine. Fourth Noxian Guillotine does not come across to deal enough damage as he goes down, but an ace for simply Darius in favor of Cassis Shoe Shop as they chase down This Is Lugo across the back of that jungle. A really, really bad fight for 3 pump chumps there. Clumped up in that jungle bush. And Vel'Koz able to just lock down that Lifeform Disintegration Array across 5 members all at once.
Now that was a very nice try by Darius there, but everybody knows there's only going to be one Penta in this season, and it's going to Will the Torpedo Brooks.
Let's see, Cassis Shoe Shop might have stuck around too late. Yep.
DG Man Header goes down to that Nethergrass. Family Man locked up by the Nature's Grass and the Twisted Advance as Piper is still chasing down Family Man, using that Warlords to gain some move speed, but Super Hoagie, the sacrificial martyr there for Family Man, as now Piper is still looking for blood. Clumsy Chocobo there gets hit by the Nature's Grass, locked down, but now Piper is taking very low from that Tristana. And Skjoransson has jumped on by Clumsy Chocobo and Irios, and they lock down the Glacial Prison coming across on a Simplex, and now they're deep. Oh, he does go down to the Twitch, taking down the Tristana, but they all do go down to Clumsy Chocobo and Irios. This Darius and Sejuani are just unkillable, just running through that, as now Irios teleporting bot lane. He's going to force into on this inhibitor turret. While meanwhile Gnar fighting off Clumsy Chocobo, maybe not the best idea. He needs to get back and save this tower. So we see the Mastery Flash coming across.
Yeah. We might have seen this inhibitor go down by now if some things had gone differently. It was hard to notice, but when that Maokai first got on Tristana used Buster Shot, but managed only to push Maokai into a wall that was about 3 feet away. Effectively not wasting the ult that could have used in the ensuing team fight to push someone off of him and not get killed.
In the end, though, we do see that they did, in fact, defend the inhibitor. The turret did go down, but respawns came in just in time for them to come kill the Sejuani and prevent the destruction of that inhibitor. So if it was the one, they didn't still down. This is one other thing too that I really like about Malzahar, with like a Sejuani and the Darius being so tanky late. If Malzahar can manage to stay alive, he's one of the really good tank shredders with all of his damage over time from his E and the percent health damage coming out of his ult, his zone circle underneath. So later in the game, if he can stay alive, he will be able to shred down the tanks.
Looks like both teams are scouting around Baron right now. Cassis Shoe Shop probably gonna see if they can take it. 3 pump chumps, just hoping they can stop it.
Shoe Shop has complete control of the vision all the way around, in front, in the back. The 3 pump chumps had one ward in the pit, but it was canceled out by it, so they had no vision of anything that was going on. And they had to back off because they can't just afford to be in there with the vision and get collapsed on from nowhere.
Right, and by the time they came back to try and get more vision on it, Baron was already dead.
I'm probably going to see, they're setting up the classic 4-1, mid-hit him's already down. Send Darius to one lane, set the other 4 to the other lane, and see if they can get the last 2 inhibitors down as well.
Sejuani just standing still, taking that Dark Binding. The Nature's Grasp coming across. 3 people rooted up. Is now Super Hoagie dropping the Stranglethorns, but does go down. Clumsy Chocobo launches the ultimate at Skjornsson, who does get in there and drops the Nether Grasp, but now DG Mad Hatter throwing damage across, takes down 2. Skjornsson walks into not having vision and gets taken down by Family Man. It's Tristana trying to push in, but meanwhile Irios just splitting onto those inhibitor turrets. This is Lugo trying to show up. Can he do anything about this? Black Shield is dropped to prevent the apprehend, but Family Man and DG Mad Hatter are working on top lane, and this is going to be 3 inhibitors down with Baron buff. Can 3 Pump Chumps hold this here, or is this going to be game 1 going over to Caster's Shoe Shop? I think that's definitely going to be game there.
They take a 4v5 fight in the top lane, and they lose the 4v fight without the Darius even being there. Darius just pushes in. Pretty easy finish for the Shoe Shop there.
It accomplished what they were going for, though, which was just to distract the enemy team long enough for Darius to split as much as he can. And they got a couple picks for it, too, which was enough to just go in and take the Nexus.
Looked like another fight that was probably going to be won by the 3 Pump Chumps, but then Mad Hatter with the turnaround on the life form Disintegration Array just absolutely obliterating the team and turns what looked like a probably lost fight for them into a winning fight, as Darius was also just taking the base. A lot of great ultimates from Mad Hatter. I really want to see how much damage he did this game, because he seemed like he was shredding everybody.
Let's see. Oof. We see Vel'Koz, of course, pulling ahead with the most damage. That's something obviously to be expected when you got someone who can hit through the entire enemy team. Followed by Tristana and then Darius. Let's see if we can find some other cool stats. I still really hate that we can't see the CC score in spectator mode.
What? You can't?
Or damage mitigated. Those are 2 stats that would be really nice to see.
I also can't return to the lobby I just got entered into.
Alright, so let's talk MVP for Game 1. What are your thoughts?
Man, I feel like it could honestly pretty much go to anybody on the Shoe Shop. Obviously, we saw the just immense damage coming out of Mad Hatter on the Vel'Koz. Greatly timed ultimates in spots where he could land across multiple members, not just one. Really turning around a couple fights. Man, Irios 31 in the top lane, I really feel like that's the lane that Gnar should win, but he was down by like 30 or 40 CS by the time they got out of lane, and a kill, so big props on him as well for being able to win the lane on what I think should be a mismatch. And also, in team fights later on, we saw him getting multiple executions off with the ults as well, so those are probably the 2 front runners for me, but we also saw Family Man popping off on what should be a late game AD carry in the early game, as he started off like, what, 3-0 or more than that before he died.
Yeah.
So
3-0 at about, I think it was, maybe it was 5-0 at 12 minutes is what it was. Which was about halfway through the game, because this game only lasted 30 minutes. Dylan, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I'm creating the poll right now.
All right, then.
All right. My thoughts. Fucking
go faster,
right.
Go faster, go faster.
Yes. So, whoever was made the call to get those Cloud Drakes on Casa Shoe Shop definitely gets my MVP vote, because you got to go fast every time. That's the only way to win, is to go fast.
yes. Cloud Drake shot calling is clearly the most important factor in MVP voting.
Definitely, movement speed is the only stat that really matters here.
Oops. I think if I had to pick one, I would probably go with DG Mad Hatter. But it's really close to me also for Family Man. And, God, I forgot. I didn't even mention Clumsy Chocobo on Sejuani. Great ganks early on the champion. That typically isn't a great early gank pressure. A lot of times Sejuani farms a little bit more until she gets her ultimate. So, I mean, once again, like I said, you could probably give it to anybody on this team. Find plenty of reasons to give it to anybody. But in the end, I am just going to throw my hat at DG Mad Hatter.
Right. I'm going to have to say, if I had to pick one, I'd definitely go with Family Man on that Tristana. Once again, just getting an early lead and making the most out of it. Only dying twice. Playing that champion very, very well from the early game and onward. Really did a lot of the damage that they needed to get through. While DG Mad Hatter was putting out a ton to the team itself, Tristana was there to clean up and took 5 towers as well. And there's the stat that I care about. Whereas the next one was Darius with 3. So I'm going to have to say Family Man on Tristana would get my vote. All right. So the poll is posted, and we're going to go to a brief intermission, and we will be back with you in a minute for Game 2. So we'll see y'all in a second.